Good afternoon, everybody. Depending on where you're at in the world, it could be morning, it could be evening, but welcome to the Dr. Mark Somer Show. This is episode 4. We're in the framework of talking about sound. And in the last episode, I took a detour from my teaching about sound into an actual example of how to call those things that are not to be as though they are. In other words, it is verbally speaking to negative situations in your life that have no value, to command them to leave and replace them by declaring that you only accept good, positive, and profitable events to enter into your life. An example of calling those things that are not to be as though they are would be something like this. A situation that some people have experienced, that maybe your rent is going to be $100 short and it is due next week. But you start speaking into the realms and dimensions of this creation for the resources to physically manifest into your possession, and unexpectedly you get a check in the mail on time. Simply put, it is a verbal command of canceling the negative actions of situations and declaring them to be replaced with positive or beneficial ones. Remember, you have to understand that when you speak into the realms and dimensions of our physical creation, they are referred to what I call realms and dimensions seen and unseen, because there are realms that we cannot see. And you do so with the absolute confidence that those things that you declare, proclaim, and decree will happen. Sometimes it may happen in a nanosecond, like when I got my healing when I was sick, or it may take a period of time. So don't give up. In the last show, I mentioned some conditions that can determine the time it takes for you to see a breakthrough, such as, do you have the faith for the change to manifest? Or, is it God's will? Or, is it God's timing? Also, it may just be a situation that you have to go through because it could be a test for your life. Usually when we go through a time of testing, there is something that we need to have learned or something that is building our character. Here is a revelation of knowledge for some of you. In the beginning of this book of life, which is the Bible, it talks about Adam and Eve, the first two people made in the image of our Creator. They were put in the Garden of Eden to rule over the earth. They were given everything they needed to be healthy, happy, and peaceful. But then the enemy came and tricked them into eating the fruit that God told them not to touch. So for their disobedience, Adam and Eve were taken out of paradise that God created for them and all of their future generations forever. But here is the part that we have to remember. Adam and Eve could have told the enemy, "Get the heck out of here." And the enemy would have had to leave. So here is a question. Is it any different for us today? The answer is no. Anytime the enemy tries to make you think that you have to live in poverty or in bad health or any other undesirable situation, kick that lie out of your mind and out of your life. Here is another revelation for some of you. The world is trying to make people believe that they should accept defeat. I hear ads from pharmaceutical companies and many times from radio and TV stations saying to the people that are watching, "Oh, you have some kind of condition or illness." What they are trying to do is make you think in your mind that you are now or you are going to be sick. That's the enemy trying to kick you out of the garden where you are supposed to have everything you need. Even people that should know better have been tricked into being sick when I hear them say, "Oh, I have some condition that is making me feel bad," or "I have this illness." Well, these people are actually confessing that they are sick with some kind of illness. So don't do that. That illness is not yours. Did you want it? Did you ask for it? Did you invite it into your life to destroy your body and steal your money by having to go to a doctor? Or stealing your time and your happiness away from your family? No. So command any and all sickness to leave your body if it tries to come to you. Call upon the healing fire of God to burn up anything in your body that is not promoting good health or finances. We have to be smart and stop eating junk food like sugar. We need to close every door that the enemy may try to use to come in and bring negative situations that we don't want into our lives. Here's another mistake. People make mistakes like we have to be like a warrior on a wall, and they don't keep it in their mind that they have to be on guard all day and all night. Whenever I hear something on the radio or TV saying that me or my family have to get some kind of medication that they're trying to promote for a sickness that we have, I cancel that assignment, because we do not have to live in sickness or poverty. You can command that curse to go back to the pit of hell, and I do not receive anything that has a negative effect. And if you are a born-again believer, I also throw in there, in the name of Jesus, because there is no other name that has the power that we need to be victorious in this life. Now let's get back to sound. Remember, in the last show, I talked about Proverbs 18:21. It tells us that life and death are in the power of the tongue. Well, just as you can speak for positive situations to come into your life, you can also destroy everything you ask for by talking about the negative things in your life as well. So be very careful. I also mentioned when everything in this universe was created in Genesis chapter 1, that God spoke and everything in this physical world manifested into reality. And since man was made in the image of God and gave man the authority to rule over the earth, it also makes sense that we can proclaim the negative situations to become dismantled and declare a positive outcome to take its place. This also goes for calling someone back from the dead, which Jesus did in John chapter 11, 38 to 44. It talks about a man named Lazarus who had been dead for 4 days. Jesus had the door of the tomb opened and said, "Lazarus, come forth." And to everybody's amazement, Lazarus came out living. This shows us that even death can be reversed with enough knowledge and faith. Remember this, you absolutely have the ability to change things that are not so good to become something better. Anyone that would like to contact me can do so at the information you see here on the screen in front of me. And it's okay if you'd like to send a donation or buy the ebook, My People Perish for Lack of Knowledge, to get more in-depth information and teaching that you see on this show. It is available on Kindle books on Amazon. Thank you for watching, and please invite a friend to watch the Dr. Mark Somer Show.